It's Indigenous Peoples Day today. Who are Indigenous people?
I always tell everybody we are all Indigenous peoples from somewhere in the world. We kind of relate Indigenous peoples in North America to Native people, but I always tell people we're all Indigenous. We all come from someplace if we found our lineage, and we traveled back to where that is, and we'd find our creation stories and our language, and we'll find all those things that constitute our identity through our culture. So I think it's really important that we recognize we're all Indigenous from someplace. But here in North America, where the Native people are, I guess you heard about Native people being like Ojibwe and Mohawk and Cree and all those different nations here. Well, we're the original inhabitants of North America. We're the ones through, I guess, our spirituality, we were told that we're put here for a particular purpose. We're here to look after the land and make sure that she stayed healthy, our Mother the Earth stays healthy. And that's the same obligation that all Indigenous peoples have around the world. The people if you ever take a look at the medicine wheel, there's 4 original people that was placed in this world. The Black Nation, the White Nation, the Yellow Nation, the Red Nation. And we all are kind of born of certain parts of this world, and our responsibility is to look after that part of the world. So the Red Nation here in North America and South America were the ones to look after the land here to make sure the earth stays healthy. The Black Nation, where they come from, is their responsibility there to look after the world there, make sure the earth stays healthy. The White and the Yellow Nation have the same responsibilities. So that's what we call Indigenous people.
Maybe we all are Indigenous people, but what is so unique about this day that it needs to take over Columbus Day and then make its way across the border?
Well, years ago when the newcomers came to North America, they had their wars, they divided, and at some point there was a separation between the countries. They formed what Canada is known today as and the United States. But Native people never had that border. Like I have cousins in the States, and Canadian American Indians have, their reserves and their family up here. So there's really no separation. I think what's happening in North America today is there's a big celebration on the arrival of Christopher Columbus. Mm-hmm. You always hear the story about Christopher Columbus discovering America. We kind of say it different though. We always say we discovered Christopher Columbus because he was the one that was lost. And how can you discover something that wasn't lost in the first place? So I think that's where the changeover of that day turned to more a focus on Indigenous peoples rather than Christopher Columbus.
What happens every year to mark this day in the college?
It's not very big here yet. It's something that I'm going to start promoting in years to come a little bit more. What I usually do on those days is I'm doing some classrooms and settings, so we'll be out in the teepee on that day and talking about it. So I'm trying to target smaller groups and then let it grow from there. So possibly next year or the year after, we'll make an event, that celebrates Indigenous peoples here.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. For Spoke Online, I'm Christel.